All right, so welcome everyone again to our V-GovCon Summit. And this is a virtual summit that we're having today, and our theme is using artificial intelligence as a business tool. And today, I'm Varetta Huggins. For those of you who may not know who I am, I'll just do a brief introduction of myself, and then I'll introduce our next guest speaker, Natasha Davis. And then we'll go straight into the presentations today, which are artificial intelligence tools to use in government contracting, and then how to pimp your marketing. And then after that, we'll do question and answers, and then we'll wrap up. Okay. So I've been doing government contracting for over 20 years. I've worked with agencies such as NASA, NOAA, Federal Aviation Administration, Department of Education, Department of Agriculture, USAID, and currently working with some of the other ones that I haven't listed here, are Department of Defense. So again, been doing this for over 20 years, so I do understand what to do in government contracting, and some of the contracts that we currently have are with DoD and FAA, and we've also done work with prime contractors where we're sub on those contracts. And so with that, after that, I started my company, V Project Management Consulting, in 2009. And in 2018, we started the V-GovCon program, which is a program that we use for, sorry, I got to invite more people coming in. Hold on. Am I sharing?
Not yet.
No, okay, so that's what the problem was. Hold on. Let me do a couple things here. Somehow I thought it was okay.
All right, everyone, if you haven't put your information in the chat room yet, please do so. Put your name of your company, and where you're from, what state you're from. Let's all get connected. And yes, you can put your LinkedIn information as well.
A couple people dropped off. They're trying to get back in. All right, thanks, Natasha. Can everyone see the slides now? Sorry about that.
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry about that earlier. Okay, I had it sharing and then. All right, so with that, again, 2009 started V Project Management Consulting, and then in 2018, we started our V-GovCon program. And this summit is part of that program. It's a program where we're helping other businesses either become government contractors, or we're helping them in what state they're in their business roadmap. So for folks, we've helped folks just starting out with helping them getting their EIN and different things they need just to get their business up and running. And then those who want to go into government contracting, we've also helped them with getting their unique entity ID and their cage code, and then also just being able to help them with going after government contracts. And for nonprofits, we're here to help you also. It's a similar process to get that cage code if you want to do government grants, and then helping you be able to go into grants.gov to find opportunities that you can apply for. And then when it comes to filling out that application, we can help you with that also. Okay. And so that's what we've been doing. Been speaking across the US virtually and also in person. So some of you might have met you there. And then for others, it's more of being a part of some of the campaigns that we send out virtually in email. You may have been to some of our different speaking engagements that we have there, or you might have met me virtually at one of the events that we've done. But again, thanks everyone for joining us today. So a bit about my company. So this is a slide that I show to government clients when we are meeting with them. So Becoming a government contractor, what that means for you is being able to have different things that government wants. So with that, you've heard me talk about unique entity ID. That's something that you'll have to get for your company to be able to go after government contracts. And then our cage code, that's something, again, you'll have to get if you want to become a government contractor. If you have that cage code, it means you are a government contractor. And then after that, if you qualify for any of the federal certification or state certifications, I highly recommend you go after those. Several folks I spoke at in government told me the more certifications, the better, because they're used different ways. So federal, they'll ask you if you have a minimum small business, a hub zone, a 8A, those come into play when you're going after those types of contracts. And then at the state level, if you're working with your state, here for us, it's Maryland, maryland.gov. So everyone, if you're doing work in your state, and I heard a couple of you talk about having your MB, DB, SB, those are important at the state level. Get those if you can. And if you're going after those state certifications, that's where those will come in. And then NAICS code, know what your primary NAICS code is. That's how government will buy from you. And so that's something that you need to know. And then you can have as many other NAICS code as you can. One of the things I tell folks, if you are bidding with a partner and the partner is bidding on an opportunity that's under 541(330) engineering services, you now have to have that. So you need to go into your SAM.gov and be able to put that in there. And then have some kind of graphic that shows what is it that you're selling to government. Note that what you're selling to government might be different to what you're selling to small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses. This is for government. So figure out what you're selling to them, put it in a nice graphic, and then make sure that they understand from that graphic what it is that you're selling them. And then if you do have any contracting info, this is how they're going to buy your services. They buy from contracting vehicles. So this is a good way to put that on there. This doesn't show all that we have, but it just shows a couple of them. That way you can get an idea of if government wants to buy, you put it in there. Now, for those who don't have any of these, we recommend using simplified acquisition threshold. That's 250K government can buy from you without having to have an actual contracting vehicle. So this is something that you'll be able to put right here and then put where you're located. We've had where we presented this in one of the quick meetings that we had with the government folks, and they're like, oh, you're located there. I just saw something come across my desk in that location. So I'll send that procurement over to you. So know that they use your address, they'll go to your website, they'll check you out. You need to know what phone number to put that they will be able to contact you. And so that's the information you want to put here. And for government to be able to reach you if they're looking for you and they want to be able to hand you a direct award. So again, this is something you need. We recommend if you're going after government contracting business, or even if you're meeting with another government agency for a grant, you want to have a slide that tells your company in one slide, right? One slide that tells you what it is you do, who you are in one slide. So create something similar. That's why we show this, so that you can get an example of what you need to be able to do, okay? All right, now we're going to talk about Natasha, who is our guest speaker. So Natasha is the CEO and founder of Impact Branding Consulting, and she's known as the Chief Visionary Officer or Chief Visionary. And when I met Natasha, she came through our V-GovCon program, high energy, love to work with people, especially small businesses and small business owners, where she can help them to be able to scale with their business and be able to present to them information they need on how to market themselves and their business. Now, Natasha has a master's with a business degree, and she also have written several books, and also been recognized by President Barack Obama with the Lifetime Achievement Award. And I can tell you, I love working with Natasha. She has spoke with me at several events. She's always easy to talk to and then very approachable. So you'll see that in her style when you hear her speak. And then she's here to help you, wanted you to understand that. So whatever information she's presenting, if you find that, you know what, I need that, feel free to contact her and let her know that, hey, I need help. And her style is she's able to work directly with you and be able to help you in your strategic planning and understanding how to market you and your business. So that's what I want you to get from Natasha, and I'm here to tell you that I've worked with her for several years, and she is one, and she came to me as in our V-GovCon program needing help with getting into government contracting. And I can tell you the growth that I've seen in her, it's just a matter of time before she gets the right government contract where it would just increase what she's already doing. All right. So with that, I'm going into my presentation today, which is artificial intelligence tools to use in government contracting. Now, I will tell you, I love, if you saw in my degree, I'm a computer science major, I love software. And one of the things I love about software is it helps you, especially as a chief everything officer, it helps you to be more efficient. So there are times when you might have an assistant, there are times you might not have an assistant as a CEO, and think of different tools that can help you do the work that you need to do more quickly, and even just being able to get some of the things that a person would have to now go and do, that tool might be able to go and do that for you. I use Calendly as an example. I'm sure some of you already know what Calendly is. You would have had to sign up with Calendly for this event. So one of the things that I did years ago was I had my executive assistant who would create the invites, send it out to folks, create a different form for them to fill out. And then also when it's time for the event, now I have to send different emails out for them to know that, hey, the meeting's about to start, or the meeting reminder. Now Calendly does all that for us. So just think of a tool that can help with some of the things that you're doing in your day-to-day. So with AI, one of the things that we're going to present to you is how AI has transformed a lot of the day-to-day things that we're doing in our businesses today. And so with today, I'm going to talk about ChatGPT. If you have heard about ChatGPT or used ChatGPT, if you can just put a virtual wave so I can know, or if you're live, just say, yes, I have, put your hands up. That's just letting me know that you've heard of it, used it, and that way I get a feel for who's done it. Okay, thank you for those who did the manual wave for me. All right, so ChatGPT has transformed the way we're doing business today. And if you don't know what it is, it's basically, and I'm sure a lot of us heard about chatbots. So it's a chatbot, it's built on AI language model, and it's what they're calling generative AI. So generative AI is the GPT part of ChatGPT, where it's using the generative use pre-trained transformer series, and a lot of the new AI that you're going to see coming out, it's using that GPT part. So you'll see where it says GPT version 3, 4, and what that is they're upgrading it every single time. And so you see GPT 3, At that point, it was GPT-3. And so with ChatGPT, it allows you, the generative part is it's pulling data, large amounts of data. So it's going to all these different databases and it's pulling data to answer your question. So you'll be able to type in a question. It's going to search all these different databases and it's accessing these databases from the internet. Now, we'll talk about other types of GPT that uses where it can use what's in your organization to pull some of the data that you have there. But with ChatGPT, it can pull the different data from these databases and produces you with several answers. And the answers can be in the form of a paragraph. It could list stuff, it could summarize. It can, even now it's starting to produce different types of graphics. So it can provide the information that you are looking for. So think you have a person, a data analyst, or even your executive, sorry, that's people still coming in. Your executive assistant, and they're helping you, and you're like, hey, I need the information for this company. And now that person has to go to the website, get the information, figure out where the information is, get it, and then provide it to you. So think ChatGPT, that's what it'll be able to do for you. Just information you need quickly, you just go in and you put it in and it's able to provide some of that information that you need very quickly. Now, I went to a conference, I was in Atlanta about 2 weeks ago, and AI was a lot of the talk that they were talking about. Now, this was one of the presentations that I went to, and here is where they're showing a chart where they're showing all of these online services and how many of them reach 1 million users in a time frame. So Netflix, 3.5 years, they got to 1 million users. And then you look at something like Facebook, 10 months, it took them to get to 1 million users. ChatGPT, 5 days. 5 days, and they were having 1 million users. And I think it was like several days after where they got to 100 million. That's how quickly everyone has been around it. And it's because of what it can do. So now this was launched in November last year. So this is a year, coming up on a year. And I can tell you, there has been so many different upgrades to this that if you have not used it, you probably have, but you just don't know. A lot of the tools that we're using today, they have an AI component. So tools like Monday.com, we use Monday.com a lot. So a lot of these tools already have the information in there where they're using AI to do different things. If you're using any kind of chatbot for answering some of your calls virtually, or even to answer questions, you might have called into, whether it's a Verizon, some of the services you use at home, they're using chatbots. So you're using it, you might not realize that you're using it. So I wanted you to know that, that with AI, things are moving at a really fast pace. And if you're not part of this, you're gonna get left behind, especially in your business. So I want you to know that I don't want you to get left behind. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to put this in front of you today so that you can start thinking that way. And a lot of times we're so busy in our companies, we're so busy with making sure that our client has what they need, that we forget about all the new things that we need to do for our business. So with that, wanted you to, sorry, went too fast. So one of the things that I've been doing is using the Microsoft Bing Chat. And in November this month, they just launched Copilot. So in I think it was early October or late September, I attended an AI conference in DC, and it was more around Microsoft products and how they're using AI and some of the things that they're doing with AI. And they talked about Copilot being launched in November. Now, I will tell you that Microsoft Bing Chat was already in place. And with Bing Chat, it's part of the Microsoft. If you go to the Bing platform where you're searching, now they have that chat feature. So you can see that here. Well, in November, they added the Copilot. And what Copilot is doing, it's even more powerful because now it's not only just pulling information from the internet, but it's pulling information from the tools you're using. So in this case, the Microsoft tools that you're using. So Word, PowerPoint, Excel, it will pull information that you have from there. And it can do analysis on those on the information. So if you wanted to analyze a spreadsheet, it can do that. If you needed to review documents and just give you a summary, it can do that. If you needed to go into your email and say, hey, what is the top 3 things that I need to know? Or what's the top, or who is the top person that I need to talk to? Or what is the more critical thing that I need to get addressed? It will come up with answers for you on those because it's doing a search and it's prioritizing things. So I saw different demos of that and it was so cool to watch. And today I'm going to do a quick demo for you with the Microsoft Bing Chat with Copilot so you can see how we can use it in government contracting. But I wanted you to understand that if you don't have the Microsoft Bing Chat with Copilot, you do need to have Windows 11. So you need to upgrade to Windows 11 on your computer first, and that will have the Copilot feature in it. And that would allow you to be able to get some of the answers, solutions that you need to manage, whether it's different projects you're managing in your company or even some of the work that you're doing with your clients. And again, it's pulling from not only the internet now, but from the tools that you're using. And that's the power, because the tools you're using have files that you have in there. It have presentations that you've already done. So it would help you if you already created some of these documents. You don't have to recreate it. Copilot will help you. And think of Copilot as a Copilot for CEOs, where you do need that Copilot just helping you with all the different things that you do. So again, Microsoft is at the forefront of some of the AI tools. They're including it in all the tools that we're already using. So if you're a Microsoft person, you have those. I will tell you, Google is behind. So most of what we do in my company is on Google. We do use Office 365 for our government clients. So we have both. But I can tell you what I've seen with AI, it's more in the Microsoft tools right now. Google is still lagging behind. They haven't gotten everything into the Google Drive and Google tool suite that we use right now. But they're coming, it's just they're a bit behind. But wanted you to know right now that Copilot is in Windows 11. So please make that upgrade and be able to start seeing some of the cool features that I'll be showing you today. All right. Now, some of the uses of how you can use AI in government contracting. Now, I didn't put all here. I wanted to focus more on the Microsoft Bing Chat with Copilot. Now, I can tell you there are lots and lots of other AI tools, and a lot of them are already being implemented in some of the tools that you're using today. But wanted to show you this feature so that you can understand how to use this in government contracting today. So some of the things that I do on a regular meeting, it could be weekly, monthly. I'm working on creating technical proposals to be able to submit those for a contract bid. And for me, that means I have to find the opportunity, the right opportunity, and that I want to bid on. And then I have to look at it, go through, and some of these documents are 100 pages, 50 pages, depending on which agency they're coming from. So you got to go through lots and lots of document to be able to find the right information. What I'm seeing with the Bing chat, with Copilot, it can go through that in a matter of minutes for you. It can go through some of those documents and be able to pull the information you need very quickly. And some of the other things that we do with links, we can provide it with a link or just the name of a company, and it'll go find the company's webpage, pull the information that I need, and give me that paragraph I need. And all I'm doing is taking that paragraph and plop it into my technical proposal or whatever documentation I'm writing up. Of course, it's AI, right? So it's pulling the information from different sources. The information might not be written exactly how you want it, but that's where the human comes in, right? You will now take that content and edit it to fit what your needs are. So AI is not going to do 100% of what you need it to do, but it'll do a lot where you just now have to get that human to be able to go in and clean that up and make it presentable for what you're looking for. So with that, we've used it to summarize content and links. So an example here is we're working on a proposal and we needed teaming partners information on the company. So we normally do a write-up on the company's overview, what the company is who that company is as a company and what it is that they do. And so we just need to take that and then put that into a technical proposal to say here's our teaming partners information. So that's one of the ways that we'll use that, and I'll show you an example of that. And then summarize content in links with documents. So you have some links that might have documents that are part of that, and they're able to pull information you need. So and I think I used this last week, one of the things, one of the documents I was working on with a government client is to be able to go through what their strategic plan is for a particular objective and within one of the offices there. So I was able to use the chat with Copilot feature to go to that agency's website, pull their strategic plan, and get the information I needed about a particular objective within that plan. So that's another way of, instead of me now having to go and find it on the web, now I had to go through that plan, figure out where the information is. That would have taken me between 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what content I'm looking for and where it's located, right? And so now I'm able to do that in a matter of less than 2 minutes with ChatGPT included in the Microsoft Bing chat with Copilot. And so with that, with some of the contracting documents, I'm able to provide the Copilot with a link and tell it, hey, in this link, go find me this information, and it will go and pull the information that I need on that contracting opportunity. And it might look in different files, and I'll show you an example of how we can do that. And then also it can use for summarizing content in different documents. You could feed it a document and then ask it to summarize it. Some of the examples and case studies that I saw was taking a whole over 100-page financial plan, and this guy had to run to a meeting in 5 minutes. He hadn't read the plan. And he used it to just go through, give him an analysis, a financial analysis. And he was able to get that in a matter of less minutes for him to take to getting to that meeting. So again, that's how AI is revolutionizing what we do in business today. So look at AI as a tool to help you in your business to be more efficient. So instead of me talking, let's go do a couple of examples. And I'm gonna be moving stuff around here, so bear with me. I just want to make sure that you can see the demo that I'm about to show you. So, hold on. And again, Windows 11 is what you need to be able to have. Let me see. I'm pulling it over, but probably I need to stop this. Are you seeing this? Okay. Are you seeing what I'm moving?
Not yet. Can you minimize that? Yep, now we can see your Bing. We can now see your Bing.com.
Okay, good. All right, so with Microsoft Bing, go in and you see search and you want to click on chat. So you see how chat shows up here. Everybody seeing this?
Yes.
So one example was I needed to go into somebody's website and I want this to be interactive. So anybody wants to share what the name of their company is so that we can, I'll look at the chat here. Let me find somebody.
We on here, a consumer marketing research. I don't know if we have the name of that. Consumer marketing research. You want to put the name of your business?
Is Marvin? Okay,
yes,
Marvin,
global field world.
Okay.
What's the name of your company on the website? Global
Field
world.com.
Global.
But the website needs to be updated. It's
Field World.
World. That's the name of the website?
correct.
Okay. Okay, so, and you said you do
Market research, data collection.
Data collection. Summarize, I'm gonna say data collection.
Double L.
All right, yep, thank you. Let me see what it will pull. So I just put in summarize data collection at Global Field World and let's see what it will pull. Is this correct, Marvin?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you see how it's pulling everything from his website. It's getting that from csis.org. Is that correct still?
Correct.
Okay. So it's pulling information from his website from different places that this company is on. And now we can take that, plop it into our technical proposal. There's a part where we'll provide overview of our teaming partners. And we'll take that information, put it in there, and then we'll even go back to Marvin and say, hey, is this correct? Is this information we pulled is correct for your company? And he'll be like, no, yes, let's clean this up, right? But you see how it pulled your information and you're saying, yes, this is correct. So imagine now, I don't have to call Marvin and say, hey, can you send me something that he's gonna take 2 days to get back to me, right?
Yes.
I can get this in less than a minute directly for the information that we need. So now I'm able to take that, put it into our technical proposal, and when it's review time for Marvin to look at it, he's gonna go in and say, hey, let me just clean a couple of things here. And again, we might not put it exactly how it's written here. We might pull parts of it just to come up with what we're looking for that company that we're partnering with, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes,
definitely. So again, less than a minute, we got the information we needed for a teaming partner that we wanted to bid with. Okay. All right. Another example here is, so last week I was working with the Department of Treasury client, and the document we're working on, they were talking about different strategic objectives that they had to meet. And so I used I used Microsoft Bing with Copilot to pull some of the information I need. I didn't want to do a back and forth with her. Is this exactly what you wanted? So I did the research, pulled it into the document. And when I met with her, I said, is this correct? Is this okay? And she was like, oh, that's perfect. But here's what I did. And I'm not going to use the exact words, but I'm going to show you two parts of this. Let's say I'm not sure which goal it is. So I'll say, find goal 1 of Treasury Strategic Plan.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tom. Marvin, that's coming to me. Okay. All right. So, I'll say summarize instead. So now this will make me have to go to the Treasury website, go find their current strategic plan. Now go through that plan, and those plans are 20 plus pages sometimes. Go through that plan, figure out which goal it is that aligns to this agency. So now here, what I'm doing is, it's gonna go find and tell me what goal 1 is. And then I'm gonna figure out from the goals which one I need to get the information I need from. So here, it's saying goal 1, promote equitable economic growth and recovery. There's an objective they're working on that I can't remember the name of, so I'm just having it do a whole list of everything here. And then I'll kind of refine my search for the exact objective. So again, it's pulling all this information for us quickly. I don't have to go search and review this document or have my assistant go review all this for us. And with this, hold on, my mouse is all over the place. Financial system for objectives. This goal 1. The goal. Okay. So now you see that it went to the current plan. If I had gone and looked, it would have given me like several plans. I would have had to figure out which one is the latest. That's taking time for me to search. And then it just went through the plan, and the plans are normally a PDF document. So it's going through a PDF document, pulling the information that I need. And then it's showing it to me here. So I'm gonna say summarize goal 1, objective 3 of Treasury Strategic Plan. So again, this is a federal government document that is going through. With the strategic plans, what I do with those is every time creating a technical proposal, I will try to figure out what it is that they need, what the objective is, and then where does it map back to in their strategic plan, because everything they do maps back to their strategic plan. And then I'll put up a little write-up on how we can meet their objective or their goal. And so here it's giving me the information that I need about their equitable economic growth and recovery, and further more on the 3rd objective, which is to support economically resilient communities. So it's giving me a little more information that I need, and I'm now able to showcase what I'm doing in my technical proposal that maps back to this objective. And so C again, didn't need to have my assistant go find me the information, which now I'm paying her just to do that work. I'm able to quickly just use this and quickly get the information that I need. So I want you to be able to understand that this is a tool for you to use. It gets the information to you quicker. And now you're just copying and pasting and then cleaning it up. Don't just take everything. I mean, sometimes the information is good, you don't need to change it. But then there are times you want to move around stuff. And then the other cool part, notice the two here, it tells you where it's getting the information from, right? So now you can click on those, go directly to the website. So you see where it got the home.treasury.gov. And that's number one. It went to the Treasury's website, which is here, found the strategic plan. So you see Treasury Strategic Plan FY 2022-2026. So it's telling you where it's getting the information from. So now you could click on that link, go find more information that you need and be able to look through that. But it's really good because it's giving you the location of where it's getting the information. So again, this is how you're checking out your sources. Is the source a reputable source that you can use? If not, then you want to do a different search or go somewhere else, right? But this is how you're identifying, is the information you're looking for correct, right? And so now you're able to see that by what it's pulling. All right, so I've done SAM.gov for you guys who do government contracting. I got 4 minutes. So I tried to do some searches for SAM.gov because it's a huge database. I didn't get exactly what I needed, but I'll show you a couple things. So I'm saying search, and I'll put, let me see. I'll do event planning, contracting opportunities, and SAM.gov/search. Let's see what it comes up with. It might not give me exactly what I need, but then let's see what it comes up with. So I haven't figured out how to get it to search SAM.gov exactly for what I need yet. It's just showing me how to do it. So I'm still working on some of these searches. But what I did get out of it is that it's telling you even the NAICS code to use, which is really cool. So it's giving you steps. Go to SAM.gov, and see here, it told me which NAICS code to use, 5612920, right? And click search. So here, just by it giving me the NAICS code to use, that's really good for me. Now I can just go in and quickly do a search in SAM.gov. But right now I'm just trying to get a link for us to use in a different search. So I'm gonna go down here on the products and services, and it was let me go back here, 561,920. And let's see what it comes up with. And I now put in a date search for anything that's due in the next 3 months. And so a list of 6 came up here. And I'm just going through some of them to see conference services, DoD. Okay, let's click on this one. All right. So it gave me a conference, and I haven't seen this. This is the first time I'm seeing this, just like, you know. It's due November 10th, which is tomorrow. And again, I have not seen this before. So all I'm doing here is grabbing that link, taking it over here, and I'm now gonna ask it to summarize instructions for, I'm not sure if I use the right language here, but let's see what it comes up. So in every solicitation, there are instructions for us to review and to find out what it is that we need to submit. So let's see what it says. And again, the answer is different every single time. So the opportunity is entitled So again, I have not opened the document. I have not even reviewed the website yet. All I did was grab the link for the event, for the opportunity I'm interested in. And I'm asking it to give me a summary of all the information I need to know. So again, these documents are a lot at times. They're like 20 plus pages, and it takes time for you to go through them. I just get exactly what I need to know. It's giving me the instructions. The deadline is January 10th at 2 o'clock, so I need to know that. I'm sending it to naof@usda.gov, right? And it's telling me what I need to include. The technical approach, past performance, price, and representations, right? And then it must follow a particular format. And then they're evaluating it with technical approach, past performance, and price. And then they're planning to award this in February. So immediately I got the critical information I need for this contract, for this opportunity in a matter of minutes. I didn't read the document. I didn't even download the document. It went into that document, whatever the document is. I didn't even see the document here yet. Okay, so that would have been the document it went in, and it pulled out the information. Notice some of the information it provided to me, it's not here, right? So that meant it went into that document and it pulled out some of the information I needed to know to provide it to me here. So again, quickly, in a matter of minutes, it was able to go into that document, pull the information I need out, and present it to me, so I can now copy this, put it in my Google Calendar for that event, for that time, and then meet with whoever I need to. I still need to review the document though, right? But immediately I can know if this is something that we can do, or in case this is due tomorrow, nope, we're not doing this, right? So I just wanted you to understand that. All right, I hope this is helpful to you. And thank you so much for listening. We are going to be taking questions at the end. So with that, I'm gonna now turn this over to, so again, we talked about ChatGPT, the MS Bank chat with Copilot, and using AI in government contracting. So I hope again that was helpful for you. Any questions you have, we're gonna, at the end of the session, just be able to answer all your questions. If we can't get all answered, we're gonna provide a way for you to provide those to us. All right. So now I'm gonna open it up to Natasha Davis, and she's gonna come on, provide information to you about who she is, and present to you. All right.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Varetta. I love it. That totally expedites the go, no go process of checking out an opportunity, especially when you get those 100+ page opportunities and you're like, I just need to know if I'm bidding on this thing or not. All right. So Varetta, do I have the ability to advance, or will you be supporting me on that?
I'll support you because
okay. All right. So we can advance. Go to the next slide. So you guys already heard enough about me. I am a business strategist. I focus on strategic planning, risk management, and change management. I have had the pleasure of being in business for 18 years. I love, love, love what I do. Absolutely. Hashtag love what I do. And one of the things I get to do is I get to uncomplicate the aspects of business and get to dissect the good, the bad, and the strategy. One of the things that tends to be the heaviest lift tends to be the marketing aspect. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk you through some different high levels of marketing, and we're going to tie in exactly what you just learned with AI and how to not only just augment what you're doing in your business, but actually to help to advance what you're doing. Does anyone have like a really large team? I know we have like a real quiet group right now, but jump in the chat room and be communicative. Do you have a team? Are you a solopreneur? Talk to me a little bit and tell me what's going on with the structure of your business, because this will make a difference a little bit with when we are talking about developing structure and strategy. So I see we got some people that has a team, we got some solopreneurs revamping. Okay, absolutely, just getting started. All right, great. This information is going to be helpful, especially for solopreneurs. Game changer, total game changer. So what I want us to explore today right now is I want you to understand can you go back one for me? Varetta, just go back one. Yeah. So one of the things I want to do is there's a misconception around marketing, and there's also a misconception around advertising. And so I'm going to unpack the two and make sure you have everything you need. Most importantly, in 2019, there was a study that was done, and we found that about 50% of small businesses had no marketing plan, no plan at all. And the reason why they did not have a plan is because it was either too complex, they didn't know how to do it, they didn't know how to implement it, they didn't have the team support. And so from that perspective, they just didn't have a marketing strategy. It's kind of got shot from the hip, right? Just do whatever, I'm gonna throw it, and whatever sticks wins, right? Well, we know that that is not an efficient way to scale a company. And the study also then revealed that those that did not have a marketing strategy, those companies generated less than $100,000 a year. And that is not a good place to be in, especially as you're growing and scaling, and also the needs of today's industry. Now, fast forward in 2022, another study was done by Inc. magazine and CB Insights. And what they found at that time was of that conglomerate in the 2022 stage, 14% of small businesses that failed, they failed because of poor marketing or inconsistent marketing. Marketing is absolutely necessary in a business because it is what we use to attract customers into the company, what we use to attract clients into the business. And it prevents us from entering into this microwave concept, this hit or miss, or this is where we sink or swim zone. Okay. All right. We can advance one. So when we talk about marketing, if you've been in business any length of time, we understand that marketing, from a recap perspective, we're looking at what's our plan, how we're going to implement it, what are our products, right? We're going to look at all these things. We're going to look at how does our approach profit the business. The key thing with marketing is that we have to use marketing as our short-term strategy. Some people use marketing thinking it's the long-term strategy. That is not what long-term strategy is. Marketing gives you short-term strategy. And so we have to put on a shorter lens so that we know what we're accomplishing. Once we develop our brand and our position of our brand, which is our long-term strategy, we are using marketing in order to effectively advance and to move the company forward. Here's what's most important. Your marketing is either going to attract or it's going to repel your clients, your ideal clients. Let's be clear with that, right? So it depends on how you position your marketing. It's either going to attract or it's going to repel your ideal client. All righty. And so when you think about that, I want you to think about the funnels. I want you to think about the language you're using. You need to also be able to tailor the conversation to the ideal client, where we start with what? Our avatar. Does everyone have an avatar? If we were to go round table, I know we won't do that today, and talk to me in the chat room. And we're in a safe place, so we can be very honest with each other, right? If we were to do a round table, do you feel like on a scale of 1 to 5, you would be able to articulate your avatar very succinctly? 1 to 5. 5 is absolutely, I got it down packed. 1 is, I need some work, right? Or 3 is like, I'm working through it. I'm working through it, right? All right, Sophia is hitting out of 5. I like it. I like it. Gianni's out of 5. And I love the honest and transparency with Maria and everyone. It's like a 2. I'm like a 2 or 3, right? Now, let me tell you, once you clean up your avatar, once you have a clear laser focus on what it is that you're dealing with, your marketing becomes more efficient and you actually spend less time and money by doing that. All right. So we can advance one, please. When we look at marketing, the key we need to keep in mind is marketing is the psychology of the business. Marketing is a psychological part of the business, right? Advertising is your great equalizer. So we don't want to mix up the two. We use advertising as our great equalizer. We don't use advertising to crack into a market. We don't use advertising to break in to the market. We use marketing is our place to psychologically get into the market. And if you've heard of ADA, there's your ADA. That's the same principles. These are proven processes and principles for how do we enter into a market. Once you get into the psychological aspect of the business and you are literally beginning to say, hey, market, prospect, I'm here, lead, I'm here, they will then come to you. You can't convert someone who doesn't know about you. So a company that does not have a marketing strategy is not a scalable company. It's usually having peaks and valleys with your revenue. It's unpredictable. Some months it's great. Some months it's like the Sahara Desert, right? So when you look at your marketing, it's time to step back and say, okay, do I really have my marketing down packed? Because what you don't want to be is a part of that 14% that the business couldn't scale because we didn't spend time developing clean, cohesive marketing. And we're going to talk about how you're going to use this AI to help to solidify and strengthen exactly what it is that you're doing. So we can advance one, please. So I'm going to touch base and give you a little piece of what we talk about with advertising. A lot of times I see companies commingling the two, and we don't want to do that, right? We have to be very careful that we should not be spending our energy advertising, trying to do marketing, right? So let's make sure we get the two. Advertising is your great equalizer. It's a paid form of communication, all righty? And so one thing you have to remember is most of our clients, our target audience, they're being exposed to about 5,000 advertising messages per day. On any given day, all of us are being exposed to 5,000 plus advertising messages per day. This was when the study was done in 2021. Imagine where we are today in 2023. But here's the challenge. We're spending billions of dollars on this, but only 4 are being recalled. Only 4 of these advertising messages are being recalled at any one time. So your goal is to step into the marketing realm so that you can draw the leads into your pipeline so that you can convert them into customers. Because if you are spending money on Google ads, Facebook boosts, LinkedIn ads, and you don't have a cohesive marketing strategy for who you're talking to, how you're going to talk to them, how you're going to convert them, you will dump hundreds and thousands of dollars into advertising without getting the return for what you need. So keep this in mind. You use advertising to reinforce, inform, and persuade. You use advertising to reinforce, inform, and persuade. Okay, that's what you use advertising for. All right, let's go up one, please. So when we talk about debunking the myths of the two, the first thing I want to do is make sure that we're super clear. You have branding first, then you market, then you advertise, not the opposite way. Branding is your long-term strategy. Marketing is your short-term strategy. That's the psychological aspect of the business. It's what you use to turn the promise into the revenue. It's the positioning, right? So you use marketing to turn that promise into revenue, but you use branding to turn the promise into equity. Equity is loyalty, right? Equity is loyalty. I'll use Varetta as an example. And as Varetta told you, when I met Varetta, my gosh, I don't even know how many years ago it was now. It's probably about 5, maybe 6 or 7 years. I can't remember. It's under 10, but it's more than 4. I know that for sure. And I remember when I encountered Varetta, it was like a workshop, a virtual workshop we attended, right? And I'm listening to her and I'm like, wait a second. She's saying the right things and it's sticking. Now, she wasn't the only person on. I heard other people and what she said stuck. And when I met with her, We stayed in it. Now, Varetta can't get me off of her tail. I'm like a tick on a cow's tail, right? Like I'm not going anywhere because now she has earned my equity, which is my loyalty. And that's what you want in your business across the spectrum with your audience. Your goal is to turn that promise. She made a promise. And what she did is she took that promise and converted it into equity. That's why I'm literally like a tick on a cow's tail. She can't get rid of me. She can't shake me, right? Now, when you talk about marketing, you take the promise that you've put out there, but you convert that into revenue. With advertising, what you're doing is you're mobilizing the message. We're mobilizing the message. Just think of it as the equalizer. And I like to clean those things up because I notice sometimes people start commingling what it is, and that's not true. All right, let's go up one, please. All right, so let's tie it all together. Let's tie it all together. So one of the things we have to pay attention to is like, take example, what we just did with all of the beautiful AI tools. And those are that's just scratching the surface, right? So those particular tools that we use, you can use that tool to find out what's new in the market. So you go into your either Chat GPT or you go into Copilot and you can start saying, I need to flesh out and clean up my marketing strategy because my twos and my threes with your avatar, my twos, my fives, even if you're out of 5, the market is constantly changing. So you want to stay ahead. You want to be competitive. And so with that, you want to evaluate, how do we compare? How do we differ? And how do we dominate? How do we compare? How do we differ? And how do we dominate? What's new in the market? What's shifting? What's trending? What is the market asking for? Are we providing it? And so you can use these tools to go in, search your own company and see what the company pulls up, because whatever that information, that data that the AI tool is pulling up, this is a summation of what the audience, your target audience, is finding and seeing as well. Is it reflecting correctly? So when I go in as the market or the consumer and the client looking for your service, and I put that information in, am I going to see what I need? Am I going to find what I'm looking for? So use the tools, and you can also put these commands, whether it's what's new in my market, obviously put the particular industry, but also look and see what's going on with your company. Use it to find out, how do we compare, how do we differ, and how do we actually dominate? When you think about the next point, what I'm talking about is be a valuable resource. When you start to develop your marketing strategy, especially as you're getting ready, we're shifting out of this year. Right now, where we are is reviewing what we've done all year, improving and preparing for 2024. We're not planning 2024 in 2024. Ideally, your strategy, your marketing should be set already, because we have how many months, 10 full months of data for what we've done all year. So now you're looking at, do I have my structure and my strategy set and ready for 2024? Do I have a plan for how do I educate 60% of the time? How do I engage 20% of the time? And how am I soliciting? The key here is the solicitation. Oftentimes businesses go out and we educate all day and we engage all day and we never have a call to action. We never have an ask. And so using the 60-20-20 formula allows you to have a very happy balance. So when you go in and you pull this data, you pull this information that you need, you're able now to say, okay, I have all this data, I have this information, between ChatGPT, between Copilot, and some of our other really amazing tools. How am I going to structure a consistent but yet a balanced formula for how I'm reaching out to my audience? If you are soliciting most of the time, but no one's been educated or engaged, your sales are down, your revenue is down, because there is no balance. And people don't like to be pitched. People don't like to be sold. Even though they need the service, they don't like to be pitched or sold. And even in government, there is a way to present that. If anyone has had the honor of having that session with Varetta, where she walked you through, when you get on the phone with government, this is how your conversation should flow. And so literally we developed this, pretty much I'm using the same formula, that I am not just like overselling without educating, without engaging. And so there's that happy balance. I specialize more in corporate contracts and I get more corporate business, and leaning in with Varetta is learning the government side of things. And though it's a little bit different, some of the principles do cross over as well. And as a matter of fact, I had a meeting yesterday with USDA, applied the same formula. I used my AI tools to do what? Let me go pull, let me go research, let me go see what's going on. The forecast and the strategic plan they had, I believe, was over 300 pages. I was not going to read that verbatim. So I did use my tools, my AI tools. I got a nice summary. I grabbed it. I highlighted the high points. My conversation with the USDA yesterday went very smoothly, and I followed the formula. Here's what I'm educating you on who we are. And one of the things she said to me, she goes, I didn't realize you had a NAICS code of 611430. I thought you were only a 541611 and a 613. Thank you for educating me on that. I did not know. It's exactly what she said. And so you want to develop that conversation. Here's the other thing. Be ready for your competitors, right? There's someone coming up that's coming to snatch, take, occupy the same exact industry seat that you're in. If you do not have a very consistent, clean, cohesive marketing approach, your competitor who just started is going to come and run over you. Look at ChatGPT. You literally open 5 days. They grabbed 1 million users in 5 days. It took Netflix, what, 3.5 years, right? So we want to advance with that. All right, let's keep going to the next slide. All right, so let's talk about an approach, what we're doing here. When you look at the two things, the goal between marketing and advertising is to accomplish the movement of information. You want to maintain some visibility. However, you're using the marketing to do what? To develop credibility and also to accomplish outreach. You don't use marketing to develop credibility. Why? Because, you don't use advertising to develop credibility. Why? Because advertising is a paid form of messaging. You pay to get your message out. People tend to not really trust that 100%. They're like, okay, you paid to get that. Okay, big deal. Marketing and the different techniques you're using in marketing is what's going to get you the credibility that you need and the outreach that you need. The better marketing you have, the lower your ad cost goes. Several years ago, we probably used to spend close to about almost $3 to $5 grand a month on Google ads just to get our PPCs, to get people going. Now we probably spend, our ad spend is so low because we spend so much time on our marketing strategy that we are known for what we do. So people who want what we do, they know how to find us. I don't have to spend all this money. We used to spend like 3, 4, 5 grand a month for PPCs to get people to come in. Now our marketing is driving the attention. Okay. Next slide. So let's look at some basics, right? This is important to know. There is definitely a difference in the persons and the groups you're talking to. So we know what B2B is, we know what B2C is, and we obviously know what B2G is. If you've been with Varetta long enough, you know what B2G is, right? And so when you look at the two, what you need to look at is the purpose of each. In B2B, you're building a tenured relationship. Business to business is a tenured relationship. This is where I shine a lot, getting contracts, getting corporate contracts, developing that tenured relationship. B2B, I'm locking it in. B2C, to the consumer, is where you're building transactional relationships. So if you happen to have a B2C, do we have any B2C business models here? I know who is I?
And this is sorry, Global Field World.
Okay, Global Field. So you're a B2C. Okay, so you're marketing to educate the consumer, to let them know I'm here. And so you can come on over, you can come to me. You're building a transactional relationship. And those transactional relationships is exactly what it is. I pay you, you give me, I move along. I pay you, you give me, I move along. B2B is more tenured relationships, and you are looking at the relationship to drive loyalty to the brand. The relationship is driving loyalty to the brand. B2C, the brand loyalty is going to drive the relationship. So when you think of also like a B2C, you think of like the Apple versus Samsung, right? I know we got some Apple gurus here, the Apple lovers here, and we got our Samsung lovers here, right? If you are a Samsung lover like me, I'm giving you $5,000. Where are my Samsung people? All right. But again, it's my loyalty to the brand of Samsung that's driving that relationship. I will not switch to an Apple phone. I'm just not. I am loyal to my Samsung. But I also know that there are some people loyal to their Apple. Your goal in a B2B is to get the relationship to drive the loyalty. This is how you end up on the budget for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Your goal is to make sure if you are a B2B primarily, or at any point B2B, your goal is to land on their budget. Like, I am on your budget annually. I don't want to show up once a month and it's questionable if we're cutting checks to you next month. Your goal is to be present on their budget. All right. Now let's talk about B2G. B2G, business to government, you're selling to government, you are filling a need. This is building trade relationships. You're building a trade relationship. And in B2G, it is performance that is driving loyalty and relationship. It is performance that's driving that loyalty and the relationship. Because I can promise you, and I'm sure Varetta can attest to this, if you go in there and you do not perform well, I promise you there will be no loyalty to you. There will be no relationship. You will be blacklisted, right? And so your performance has to really excel, because if you're going to build your relationships, but it's the performance that's going to keep the loyalty. So understand your B2B and your B2G and your B2C purposes. All right, let's go to next slide. So let's talk a little bit about the social media aspect. When we're looking at social media, first and foremost, please keep in mind that social media on the face of it is a B2C environment. Until you close the gap where you are in an isolated group, an isolated environment where you are directly communicating and interacting with individuals, you are not B2B. Social media is a B2C area, and you want to remember to respect the purpose of B2C. B2C is brand loyalty will drive the relationship. B2B is relationship drives the brand loyalty. So when you go into your AI tools, okay, and you need to do a summary, one of the things you can also look at is when you're building your marketing strategy is what? Go and see where your target market is hanging out. There are over 300 plus social media networks. There are social media networks that are specific to certain industries. There are also social media networks that are specific to certain genders, age groups, everything. And so your goal is to find out what social platform are your target audience, your customers, your clients, where are they hanging out, including government. Who knows where government typically hangs out? Which social platform of the big fours, the big fives, I should say, which social platform do you think government hangs out the most?
Don't know.
Anybody want to try it? Going once, going twice? Sold to Natasha. All right, it's Twitter and LinkedIn. Twitter and LinkedIn. Twitter and LinkedIn. Why? The Facebooks and the Instagrams are typically not approved by these government entities. There are some workers there. You can't even access Facebook or Instagram from a government platform. But you can get to a Twitter, and you can, in some senses, you can get to a LinkedIn. You cannot, it's hard. There are some that block it altogether. You can't even get to a Facebook page or an Instagram platform from a government device. You can't. So Twitter is where they hang out. So some people's like, oh, who's on Twitter? If you do government business, government's on Twitter. Government's on Twitter. Large corporations are on Twitter. Or I'm sorry, X. They're called X now, right? But you want to pay attention to where is my audience hanging out, and you use the tools to summarize your approach. Know your audience, build your target audience and your avatar. Do some research. What are they looking for? What are their priorities? What are the market needs, right? Narrow down, and then you do the research to find out where are they, what social platform they hang out. Just because you like Facebook or Instagram, that has nothing to do with where your money is. Where does the money reside? That's where you want to go. Okay. All right. Let's advance. All right, so here we go. When we talk about marketing and how we're going to do it, I want you to pay attention to what you're doing with your marketing. And remember that you have a before, a during, and an after as it relates to marketing. And when you pimp your marketing, I want you to make sure that not only do you plan it, but I want you to implement it. You then have to monitor it, and you have to pivot. Plan it, implement, monitor, and pivot. Plan it, implement, monitor, and pivot. You pimp your marketing. And if you are not pimping your marketing, I can tell you right now that your marketing is funny, but it's not hilarious. Okay. You're not getting what you need out of that. So you want to pay attention for those profitable initiatives. Here's the other thing. Less is more. Less is more. There is no need to try to show up in 50 different platforms. Less is more. When you roll something out, your goal is to monitor it and make the appropriate adjustments to optimize it. So, for example, if you have a marketing strategy and your distribution channel happens to be LinkedIn, YouTube, okay, let's say X, Twitter, right? If that happens to be your distribution channels, you have to pay attention to what's happening on there. You have to go back and look. Did the conversation happen? What's the engagement? Are we saying what they need? Here's another thing. Please do not copy and paste the same exact message at the same exact day on the same exact time to all of your social platforms. That's a no. You don't do that. You want to have a good cadence, because your audience that shows up and engages on Twitter is different from the audience that shows up and engages on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or any of the sorts. Okay. So you want to be specific. Let's say another distribution channel is email. Okay, you can advance one for me. Let's say another distribution channel is email. If you're using your email, that's a whole nother thing. I've done like extensive training on email marketing. That's a whole nother thing, but it doesn't have to be a lot, but you do have to have structure, and you need to have some form of a system where you're maintaining consistent communication. So I want you to pimp your marketing, plan it, know what you're saying, know who you're saying it to and what you want from them. Implement it, obviously, right? And then I need you to monitor it. Monitor what's happening. Are you getting the results that you planned for? If not, pivot, make the adjustments. Okay. All right, let's go one up. So this is your pipeline. And here's the key thing I want to say. I know everyone has had to have seen a pipeline. I know that, so I'm just going to touch base on this and we're going to keep moving, right? When you look at a pipeline, the key thing I want you to take away from this is a lead is not a prospect. A lead is not a prospect. The lead comes first because of the marketing activity that you did. That lead, I'm interested, you said something I like, comes into your pipeline. It comes into your funnel. That lead now has to be qualified. They then become a prospect, and then the prospect becomes a customer. It is not the opposite way around. You don't have a prospect, then a lead. No, the lead comes first because it's what you did to magnetize them to you. You said something that they like. They came into your pipeline. You had a process of how to qualify them. You had a process of how to include or exclude them, right? And then you can convert them into being a customer. Right? All right, let's go to the next slide. So this is just a quick reminder for you that I want you to pay attention to. Why are you marketing? What are you offering? Who are you attracting? And how will you communicate the message to them? Simple, right? I believe in being clear over being clever. because I can go down a rabbit hole on something. But when it comes to rolling out a strategy, I believe in being clear over being clever. Here's what I'm marketing. I am marketing, let's look government or corporate, right? Let's say I'm marketing strategic planning to the government or strategic planning to corporate, right? So what am I marketing? I am marketing the ability to uncomplicate things. I'm marketing the ability to streamline operations, right? So once we do that, who am I attracting? Split it down the middle. Are you attracting corporate? Well, if you're attracting corporate, be specific about the corporate that you're attracting. What type of corporate? What industry are they in? What size are they, right? What state are they located in? What are their priorities and their needs? If it's government, it's the same exact thing. What agency and all that other good stuff, right? Now you look at your distribution of how will I communicate to them. Every market, you communicate just a little bit differently. How will I communicate to them and use your distribution channel? All right, we can go one up. And so when we look at this kind of got laid out a little different, but the gist of this part here, I want you to pull away from here is looking at these 3 metrics, what you need to measure, right? What if you don't measure it, you can't improve it. So when you think of, did I really pimp my marketing profitably? You want to understand your main average order value. What's the AOV? Then I want you to understand what's your close rate. When you do marketing efforts, what is your close rate? You can track these 2 metrics in your marketing efforts. If you are doing an ad spend, you really need to pay attention to your CPL, which is your cost per lead. How much did it cost me to bring this lead in? And then you will back it up with the AOV and the close rate as well. The goal is to fill the pipeline with qualified leads and then convert them. Obviously, if they're qualified, the right prospect, and you convert them to being a customer. All righty. All right. So that is a high level overview of how to pimp your marketing, how to, again, tying it in. We can go one up. Tying it into what you've learned with the AI. You use the tools that's available. Don't be afraid of it. You use the tools available to you so that you can actually get your marketing strategies together so that you can start to tie it in. If you do not have a marketing strategy or a strategic plan of how I'm going to scale, how we're going to advance in 24, what are we doing, how we're going to bring more customers in, right? How we're going to make more money, how we're going to hit more contracts. If you don't have a strategy, it's time to really get to that computer, open up these tools, and start getting some research done. And remember, less is more. Less is more. All right, there's your overview. I am done, and I think we can open for questions now. Yay?
Yep. So if you have a question, 2 options. You can just raise your hand or just unmute, and we'll let you know if you can start talking, or you can add your question to the chat, and then we'll just read.
I have one question. This is Marvin. You spoke about Microsoft and the Copilot, and you need Microsoft 11. What about a Mac?
Great question. Feel free to go to the Microsoft website. The test that we did was more on just using the Windows platform. I don't know if they have that feature available to Mac as yet, but if you go to their website, they'll be able to direct you further.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And Marvin, are you able to download like the Internet Explorer?
Yes.
If you download the IE, you can get to it from there quite easily as well. Because you just type it in that browser, it'll come up because they sync together.
Yeah, it's in the IE.
Okay, I'll look it up. I don't have no questions right now, but I have to say to Natasha Davis, this was an excellent presentation.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, a lot of people heard do marketing, but a lot of times they don't understand that there is a data collection involved. And that's what we do, which is critical. I mean, your explanation of the whole situation was right on point.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Right.
I appreciate that.
Welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, Marvin. Thomas, you had a question?
Yes, good afternoon. Marvin's correct. It's excellent presentation. I wound up coming in late. If I would like to contact each of you as I can digest it and have questions, how would I do that?
Sure, great question.
Okay.
We'll
If-
provide more contact information in a couple of days when we have the video ready. But right now, here you have Natasha's information. You can go
Perfect.
feel free. We'll also provide you with the presentation and the video in a couple of days.
Oh, okay.
Once everything finished processing, so you'll have that also. But for me, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'll put my company's information here on the chat, and
Terrific.
you have a couple more. Hold on.
Mm.
And so here is our two websites where we do our V-GovCon work. And you could also find us on v-pmc.com.
And same for me, guys. You can go to the website, impactbrandingconsulting.org, and you can find that there. And I am on LinkedIn at Natasha Davis Visionary.
Cool.
I did put a link in the chat. If someone's like, hey, I really want this, you can go to the link I put in the chat, get Natasha's presentation.info, and you can just download the presentation as a reminder and a refresher. So you can go to that link that I put in the chat.
And Varetta, do you pertain more to government as opposed to Natasha?
Yes. So I'm mainly government. Natasha will focus more on corporate, and your businesses, she'll be able to help you with your marketing.
Yeah, I'm much more corporate than I would be pertaining to
So
government as of
Natasha
now.
is what you want to talk to.
Cool. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Right.
All right. Any more questions?
I'm sorry, Cynthia, what link are you referring to? You see it now. Okay.
Okay. Any more questions for either Natasha or myself?
Nope.
I have a question. This is Amela Wiley with Wiley Simone Digital. I'm just curious in terms of what your goals are for kind of like ideal clients. What does that look like for you all?
Natasha, I'll let you go first.
For myself, ideal clients?
Yes. Mhm.
Oh, ideal clients for me are generally service-based professionals. They do service provision. They usually generate about $500,000 or more. Geographically is not an issue. I actually have clients out the country as well. So these are service-based companies that are generating about $500,000 or more, and they typically are at a point where they're either needing to scale or streamline operations, as well as a big thing. A lot of times they're also launching new service lines, and they need to get their team organized and trained, especially dealing with the change management as well.
Okay.
And again, we are positioned to do work with the government. We've done some small state level, but now I want some big fish. I want the
Yes.
big fish now, right? I want that big snapper.
And you will get it.
Probably,
But
I'll
thank
help you fry them.
Yeah.
That's my job. Yeah.
Uh,
I
so
love
with
it.
me, my ideal clients are government clients that I work with. And we provide anything that falls under project program and portfolio management. And so and this year we've been focused a lot on event management, but again, we can fall under any of those. The other part of the company that does the V-GovCon, or ideal client here, is a business owner. It could be for-profit or nonprofit who is looking to go after government contracts, help them navigate government contracting. So we
Okay.
provide executive business coaching for those. We do have one-on-one sessions, group sessions, different types of partnerships and memberships that we offer. We are on several government contracting vehicles. So for those, depending on if their services match or complements what we're doing, we might offer partnerships to any of those. So we look at companies also that we can partner with to go after more government contracting.
Okay, thank you.
Thomas, you had a question?
Yeah, do you also then, Varetta, work with people like APHIS and the bases, or not necessarily in government?
APHIS, is that USDA?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah, any government agency, it doesn't matter for us. I've actually met with someone at APHIS before, but for us, it doesn't matter as long as they need our services, we're able to work with them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Quick question. Is SAM the appropriate platform you look for government contracts and all? Or is there another one?
It is the authoritative source for government contracting. And so yes, it is. But there are some opportunities that you'll not see on there, and it's because it might be on a government website, a government portal. SAM is more for federal government, so if you're doing state or local government business, you want to go to their website, and they have portals or different sites that they have that information on.
All right, thank you.
And just to clear that up also, if you're a nonprofit, you want to go after grants, which is grants.gov. SAM.gov also have
Okay.
a feature where you can get grant information on there too.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
If not, then I want to thank everyone. Any takeaways from this? Like for me, from Natasha, the takeaway I got was compare, differ, and dominate. And for me, that was awesome. Just love hearing that. So if you have any takeaways you want to share, feel free. If not, we'll be able to close. You can share it by the chat, or if you want to say it out loud, that works for us too. So what are your key takeaways from our summit today?
Well, for me, my key takeaway from your talk today was the culmination of using the tools not only to summarize the opportunity that's ahead of us and just prepare that, but also using it to search in SAM. Like some people may be stuck on a NAICS code, getting that to help drive them along the way. And while you were doing your training, I did a sample in the Copilot to pull, give me your top NAICS codes right now, active top NAICS codes, and it was able to spit some things out to me, and then I went into Gov. So it was very helpful, and I really love how you pulled that together. That was a huge takeaway for me, is using it even more in depth for the purposes of the contracts. So thank you.
Awesome. Anyone else? Your takeaways?
Yeah, there's a lot that I don't know.
You thought you know, right?
Oh, forget about it. I'm overwhelmed.
But I think the takeaway for me is you always learn something new. Even though I am in the research business for about 35 years, but especially with AI today,